Hi, this is Jacqueline here. Welcome to the Empowered Parent channel, a channel where we'll talk about raising children with special needs, and there will be much more to come. Thank you very much for tuning in to watch this channel, to watch this video. Today, I'd like to talk about whether you should opt to send your child to special needs school or not. I'm only going to talk about some of the experiences I've had, and the reason why I'm choosing to talk about this is not necessarily to tell a parent what to do with their child, where to send them or not. But the reason I'm talking about it is because I've had an experience with parents who tell me why they do not want to send their child to school. There's a particular parent that we've been talking to where I work. She has a set of twins, girl twins, and it is potentially more likely that they would do well in a setting, in a special needs setting, school. One of them would probably do well in a mainstream with a one-to-one support, but the other one, it's more likely for a special needs just because she presents more um, challenges in terms of her learning needs and in terms of her behavior as well, in terms of concentration, in terms of social skills. So they are going to look at all those aspects before um, it can be decided whether a school can actually meet their needs or not. For most children in the United Kingdom, a specialist teacher would visit either the nursery setting or the school setting in which they may have started already. They may have gone to mainstream, maybe in reception, which is the very first year in a primary school in the United Kingdom. And the teachers may have raised concerns, therefore leading them to be visited by a specialist teacher. Specialist teachers will then come in and actually observe the child over a period of time in all their learning areas, and then also their behavior in the setting. And then a compilation of reports will be given by the nursery teachers, from the nursery, as well as by the nursery teachers in reception, for instance. And then they will look at it and make a decision as to whether that child's need can be met at the school, or if that child needs to actually be going to a specialized school. Those are the reasons, the initial reasons they pull together concerns, their abilities, and their other needs to see where the child would do best. It's not for anything else. And so, my concern for parents saying that they do not want their child to go to a special school is that you set your child up for missing out on a curriculum that would best be suited to their needs. So, for instance, specialized schools have smaller classes where you'd find a reception class perhaps of 25 plus. In a mainstream first year of school, you might find maybe 10 to 12, at the most, maybe 15 children. So the class is smaller, the environment is set such that it does not give the child too much, it does not overstimulate their brain, because these children learn better when they are focused on one, two, three specific activities that are set out to them according to their need and ability. Whereas in a mainstream school, in a setting, activities are extremely varied. And so the child might get overwhelmed and they might be missing out on their learning. So when, for instance, my son, the older one, and consequently the younger one, did not settle very well when they started nursery attached to a school. Straight away, the teacher picked up, and the exact procedure that I just explained was followed. To me, when they say that he would be better off at a specialized school, I was quite happy, to be honest. I didn't have a problem with it because I thought, okay, rather than me being called in and out because he's not settled. And luckily for me, I just lived opposite his school, and we still do. From that school that he went to was just literally opposite me. And so if they called me and said he's not, he's not settled, he's not well, he's not fine, um, he's really not, settling in, as upset, they'd call me in, and I'd go and try to play around with him, settle him, or just bring him out. And this was quite hard. Now you can imagine yourself, as a parent, being called in constantly and continuously to pick the child that is not settling. And I'm not saying a child will not settle. I'm just giving an experience and what could potentially happen if a child is not in the right place. So perhaps your child is in a setting now, and this is what you're going through. But at the same time, you think, oh no, my child will be stigmatized, or I don't want my child to be stigmatized, which is what a parent was saying recently. But I think you have to look at your own needs and that child's needs as well. What really is best here? For a child to go to a special school where their needs are met, and they're there and they're being dealt with all day, and you drop them and you pick them up, they've had a good day, they're learning and thriving. Or for the child to go to a mainstream school where perhaps teachers are extremely busy and they have other children to deal with, and perhaps teachers, and with all due respect, are not necessarily equipped and trained to deal with a specific need. So I'd like us to think in the longer term. I'd like us to focus on what would be best for the child in terms of their thriving, in terms of their learning, and be goal orientated for the child, because after all, the agenda of the day and the goal of the day is to actually make that child self-independent, to increase their independence, to increase their learning, and to actually have opportunities for them to even develop more. Because if they're already learning differently and differently abled, I actually don't like to call our children disabled. I like to say that they are differently abled. They have abilities which need to be harnessed. And I think the teachers are well equipped at a specialized school to actually observe them carefully and to say, this child is very good at this specific activity. This child seems to be quite good at art. This child is quite good at construction and has a keen eye for such and such an activity. This child has an understanding, a better understanding in this area or that area. This is what our focus should really be on. So I would like to encourage us to actually think about those things that I've just spoken about, and allow for the specialists to step in and for us to step back just a little bit, still with some input as parents, but to actually see what is really good for the child. At specialized school, they'll use things like Makaton, which is a form of training in terms of speech, PECS, which is also a system, which is a picture system, where they have a picture and a word, and the teachers will use a picture to show the child, and it has a word at the bottom to actually communicate, where they have speech therapy and other therapies in between, where schools that have maybe access to pediatricians, maybe less so now because of government funding, where there is access to nurses, where they understand your children's medication and needs and so forth. This is, the beauty of specialized schools. Specialized schools are extremely um, busy now, because there is more children coming that need specialized schools. And I believe recently the government has just announced over 740 million. The educational minister has announced to actually have specialized school attached to mainstream schools, so that children coming on board, their needs can actually be met attached to schools. So schools will be able to extend their services, will be able to extend so that they can actually bring specialized children on board, and needs can be met that way. I hope this video has really helped. Please leave your comments, like and subscribe. I really would like to hear from you. Thank you so much. Subscribe. Don't just come and watch. Subscribe and share. Thank you so much. I'm Jacqueline from the Empowered Parent. Until next time, bye-bye.